All right, welcome back. Let's continue this conversation on the selection of vice presidential candidates. I'm now being joined on the program from Abuja by Farouk Bibi. Farouk, who is a political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me start by asking, let me start by asking you why you think the issue of selecting a vice presidential candidate has become very, very important and critical.
Well, actually, it is interesting that this is about the first time in our history that the issue of choosing who should be vice president has become an entire national issue, in the public domain. And I think it has to do with the fact that in the last nearly 10 years, political parties have abandoned their main responsibilities and duties of engaging politicians and linking them with the public, and those responsibilities have been taken over by religious bodies, religious organizations, and socio-cultural organizations. If you have been following, whenever there were issues in Nigeria, the airwaves are filled by statements from Ohaneze, Arewa, Afenifere, and so on. And of course, these have particular specific regional, tribal, religious interests, and so whatever comes to the political domain is pushed by them to become the public issue. So many of them are insisting on power coming to their region, or to their tribes, or to their people, or to their religion. And so Nigerian politics is tilting towards that. And that's why this issue has become a very serious issue.
Now, let's talk about, the vice presidential candidate of the PDP now. I mean, the former vice president, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, as you know, chose his vice presidential candidate. He's from the south of Nigeria. What do you think the governor, the current governor of Delta State, who is now his running mate, what do you think he brings to the table for not just the PDP now, but especially for Atiku Abubakar?
For Atiku Abubakar, I can say that he, more than any other person aspiring to be president in Nigeria, knows the roles and responsibilities and the feelings and the life of a vice president. And so I think he's in the best position to pick a vice president that suits into that or fits into that slot. What Governor Okoa would bring into the vice presidency would be level-headedness, which I think he has been shown to have had. He will bring resources because he's coming from one of the richest states in the country, certainly. He would also bring in a political dimension that would have eluded the PDP, that is an Igbo boycott. Because whether Igbos like it or not, Okoa is also an Igbo man from Anyoma, and so there is still an Igbo man in the question. Had non-Igbos had Igbos avoided the two dominant parties, this 2023 election would have been run without one of the major players in the country over time who have made demands to take the first position. Governor Okoa also brings probably a lot of loyalty and support that we have never known between him and Atiku Abubakar since the last time Atiku Abubakar contested. More importantly, I think Governor Okoa has had experiences in local government. He has had experiences as state commissioner in certain instances. He has a national experience as a senator, which is very important for every presidency. If you notice, the American presidency allows the vice president to be the leader of the president of the Senate when the time comes for Senate to meet and make a decisive decisions. So if Okoa could use his experience, would have a change whereby the presidency and the legislature are operating on their own without too much connection and link. Ideally, most of the things that should come to the presidency must have been discussed by the caucuses of the National Assembly.
All right, let's quickly talk about the ruling party now, the APC. Effectively, you could say the party has still not found a running mate for its candidate now, Bola Tinubu. Even though what we're learning now is that the name of the current governor of Katsina State has been put forward, but that is just as a placeholder now, just for the party to beat the deadline for the submission of that's a running mate now set by INEC. Why do you think the APC is finding it difficult to come up with a running mate for its candidate?
Well, I think they have, I think from my information, it is not the Katsina governor, but a person sharing his name, his village name, Masari. I think an Ibrahim Masari, who was in the party as an ESCO member of the party. That's the other information I have. But for whatever reason, the fact that the ruling party, the party with the highest number of governors, highest number of senators, members of the National Assembly, and state assemblies, and so on and so forth, is finding it difficult to find its feet in this transition. And a transition that technically has been on for almost 2 years because of the deliberate effort of moving the law, the electoral law around and creating a lot of substance out of it over time. And the fact that it's an electoral transition that has taken 2 years, that will have another 1 year condemned to politics. And it, as the ruling party, is fumbling, in the sense that it's tripping. It could not use the time allotted to it to create its presidential candidate because it could not hold the convention at that time it was expected. INEC had to give them a grace period. And now just a simple matter of a presidential candidate announcing his vice presidential candidate.
Is it really a simple matter?
It's a very simple matter. The Constitution has given the candidate full, total authority. He can only consult and seek advice, even from the party or any other. But if he wakes up tomorrow morning and says it is his wife that is the vice president to him, there is nothing that has been broken in the law. So it is a simple matter. It's not a matter of creating delegates. It's not a matter of going to the party caucuses. There is nothing difficult about it. But it has become difficult.
You must also concede to the fact that, look, whether you like it or not, the party would need to have an input.
The party should have an input, But if you remember, in 2018, Atiku Abubakar did not consult the party. He created his vice president as Peter Obi
but he did this time. He did this time.
Yes, so, we have a way of creating a lot of bureaucracy around simple things. Now, the next time it comes, there might be an Owambe before a vice president is picked. The Constitution is clear. The president, the presidential candidate, who has the highest stake
but
in this.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that part of the reason why the APC is sort of finding it difficult, if you like, is that it is actually considering this issue of a Muslim ticket or Muslim-Christian ticket? How tricky do you think that is for the party?
Well, it's a very tricky thing because it is being brought into the public by divisive forces. But in politics, and those divisive forces are not political parties. You see, those who are feeling there might be marginalization if certain things happen in political offices, do not participate in political activities, do not invest in political partying. They do not even determine one ballot box. Technically, none of them would bring a ballot box. None of the leaders of Arewa, Afenifere, or whatever would bring a ballot box for a political party to win. But at the end of the day, they would hype up the issues of political decisions. For political parties, the first and most important thing, the god of politics, is numbers, winning election. The strategy you use to win that election is the most important thing to you. I don't know what strategy is available to APC. They have information. So if they are confused because of that, they should be able to sort out what strategy are they going to use. But it's not a matter of balancing as far as I'm concerned. If balancing creates the rhetorics that is important to create the numbers, go and balance. If balancing does not create that rhetoric that might create the numbers for you to win, avoid it. The important thing is get the numbers to win. Abiola was put in this situation. He took a decision. Others who might find themselves in any situation like this would take a decision. As politicians trying to win elections, targeting and strategizing what is the best way. It's not about listening to important, high-sounding voices of old people who want to be relevant but cannot produce political numbers for you.
All right.
So that's my position.
So Bibi Farouk, I want to thank you very much for your incisive comments there. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the program.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. All right, that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.